Okay, give me time. I'm nervous, bro. That's what you do, and I just start with the question.
No, go ahead.
How you doing, guys? This is Jonathan, the producer of Secrets of Silent Success, with the host Micah Autry. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Good. A little awkward being in the camera for the first time.
Yeah, we got it right this time.
I'm gonna make it work. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna jump right into it though. So let's talk.
Hey, that's mine. You see? Yeah, good job. Go ahead.
So let's talk about the podcast. What was your initial thought process of doing Secrets of Silent Success? Tell me, how did you and what made you even want to do and come up with the title?
Yeah, so for me, that's a two-pronged question. So the first thing, where did the podcast come about? So as a full-time entrepreneur, I run into a lot of other entrepreneurs that I feel had amazing stories, and I really wanted to highlight their successes. A lot of times on social media, you see these entrepreneurs, and you don't know the validity or the credibility behind what they're saying. But I'm like, man, I'm seeing these men and women go out there every day and live this entrepreneurial life and have a lot of success. So I want to highlight their stories. The idea of secrets, or the idea of secrets of silent success stems from me a little bit. I'm a pretty private person. I don't say what I'm doing entrepreneurially or personally or anything like that. So the idea of talking about secrets of silent success was to highlight entrepreneurs who their brands may have a big following or a lot of social capital, but them as individuals, we don't know the man or woman behind the brand. So I wanted to highlight their secrets behind their quote unquote silent success.
Okay, perfect. And then you also started sharing your own personal insights and tips of running a business. Tell me a little bit about what are you hoping viewers can gain from those videos?
Yeah, so what I'm hoping viewers can gain from those videos, been in business for 7 years, I feel like at that point you kind of have an MBA in business, and then you've been able to build a business to 6 figures. So I figure that the insights that I have can at least get people to be in business and sustain a business and to be able to get at least 6 figures. So that's the type of insights that I'm giving. I struggled with not wanting to give, because I always wanted to give out insights. I struggled with the idea that I had enough insights to give. Right? Was my insights and what I'm doing good enough to share for others to have success with? I'll give a shout out to Brandon Copeland. I was on a film set with Brandon Copeland, and he was like, even if you're just 1 yard ahead of someone, you can help them get that other yard. So I thought, like, man, I got to be way far out. You got to have a multi-million-dollar business. You got to have several businesses. You got to be doing this for 10, 20, 30 years to be able to reach back and help the next person. He was like, nah, man, even if you're just a little bit ahead, start reaching back and helping others. And that's kind of where it got started.
How do you have the courage of putting yourself on the camera or giving that insight? And some people might have comments or negative comments, or they might have positive comments. How do you have that courage and steer through those comments?
Yeah, I'll pitch it to Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. You just gotta not care. Don't care about what people say. Don't care if you got a haircut. Don't care if you got a pimple on. It's like, hey, what I'm trying to do in giving information, or what I'm trying to do to interview other people to get their information, that's more important than the critiques and criticism of other people. And it's more important than if you look good or bad that day, right? So for me, I just stopped caring. And I don't know who actually said this quote or who you can attribute it to, but a lot of times I've heard the quote that you won't be criticized or hated on, quote unquote, by someone that's doing better than you. So if you like, hey, some people are throwing hate or shade in your comments or giving you negative feedback or criticism for the sake of doing that, then they're probably not doing better than you. So why care anyway?
I like that right there. Okay, perfect.
The lines would say lions don't care about the opinions of sheep.
Okay.
It's facts. I'm not trying to be boastful, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Facts.
Okay, perfect. So
Facts.
Let's 2015, you and two of your business partners.
Hold on, this is real. So right now I just got an email off Thumbtack for production, so I'm gonna actually reply to this because
during the show,
because in entrepreneurship, promptness and responsiveness is the ultimate key. So go ahead, plug that. I'm gonna see what this is.
So you're just gonna disrespect me while I'm on the show?
I'm not disrespecting you. I can't do it anyway. March 27th. But if you open reply, I had a video a couple weeks ago that said if you open reply, she just asked about the date March 27th. We're double booked for March 27th. We can't do anything, but I'm still going to reply and say, hey, thanks for reaching out. But unfortunately, we're booked for March 27th. I can point you in the direction of someone else that may be able to help you. So always reply.
Customer service, always.
Always customer service. Even though you were just hating on me sending this.
I'm just saying, I was meaning of a sentence. You just interrupted me.
I did.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right. Sorry. Brief intermission to get to the money.
Okay, let's go. You started on motion arts in 2015, correct?
Yes, me and my two business partners started On Motion Arts in 2015.
Now it's own media, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the filming industry?
Got into the filming industry kind of on happenstance. My brother is a musician, and so he started doing music videos with his friends and, you know, kind of his group members that he was in the group with. And I was just a little bro trying to tag on with big bro. And I quickly realized that this was something that could be monetized. And so what I mean by monetize is, hey, I can make money off of this. I've always had kind of a natural instinct if I can monetize something. I remember being in like second grade and having these fuzzy posters that you would color. You would go to Walmart, you would color them, and my grandmother's friends would come over from church, and I'd be like, hey, I can sell you that for $5 if you like it so much. So I always kind of had that instinct in me to try to sell, to try to monetize my creative projects, if you will. And so I seen that my brother, they were out there making money, filming these music videos. I quickly felt like I became better than them. They started giving me projects. We were doing videos for DJ Chose and Brick Gang, and they were like, nah, we need Jarrell to edit that. I'm 16, 17. They're like, nah, we need him to edit it, because I became invested in it. I became good at it when I got a laptop, all that good stuff. And I quickly realized I could monetize it. From there, I was like, well, my brother and his friends, they were doing it, but they didn't really, I feel like, take it as serious as I would, even though I was I was their younger like predecessor, if you will, or younger successor, me, if you will. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna take it over. So even in high school, all throughout college, I'm filming $300 music videos, $500 music videos, doing freelance work. And that freelance work, you're just messing up my swag.
My bad.
And that freelance work transitioned into me doing On Motion Arts.
Okay, perfect. So you started doing filming while you're in high school.
Yep.
What made you go to University of North Texas? Do you feel like you needed that degree to pursue your business, or do you think you learned things at UNC that enabled your career and your business?
Yeah, so when it comes to the creative industries, college is not necessarily necessary. If you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, engineer, pharmacist, you need college. You have to have that degree, certification, those essential skills. If you want to be a videographer, photographer, music producer, you don't necessarily need college. However, I do feel like college was beneficial in terms of it helped me to learn how to read and write. And so that sounds crazy. Like, of course you knew how to read and write. You went through grade school, all 12 grades. Like you graduated from high school with straight A's, all that good stuff. Of course you know how to read and write, but you don't know how to read and write, right? You don't know how to read and process a lot of information. I think that helps you become a better orator, a better speaker, a better thinker. And then that in terms helps you to become a better business owner. So in terms of, was college necessary? I'm going to say, like, in terms of being a videographer, no. But in terms of being a successful and well-rounded individual, to be a better entrepreneur, I definitely feel that it was beneficial. Necessary, I still probably wouldn't say it was necessary, but absolutely beneficial.
Definitely. And I know you're a videographer, photographer. You could have went to a company and just got in contract or work for a big company, but you decided to start your own business.
Yeah.
Why did you go the entrepreneur route instead of, going a 9 to 5?
I actually think I am a person that's easy to work with. However, even though I believe, you ask me, hey, are you good at taking direction from other people and
no.
Listening to other people?
I can tell you that.
I would tell you yes. I would tell you
Come
yes.
on, bro. Come on.
I would tell you yes. I am good at listening to other people, taking direction, playing a role that I need to play. I would say I'm good at those things. However, my actions and what other people around me have told me is that I am not good at those things.
Absolutely.
I am not good at listening and taking direction from others. So I'm going to trust the outside opinion because my inside opinion is tainted, right? So if somebody tells me like, no, bro, you're not good at taking direction and working for someone, I think maybe that's why I naturally gravitated towards entrepreneurship. I would give a couple different reasons why I gravitated towards entrepreneurship. One reason is you can exponentially increase your income year after year. It's not going to be a job where you can make $25,000 your first year, $50,000 your second year, and $75,000 your third year. It's very few jobs that you'll be able to exponentially grow your earnings that much. In entrepreneurship, you can do it overnight. You can literally have 1 month we make $1,000, the next month we make $10,000. Because this is my second point in entrepreneurship is eat what you kill. And I love that idea. My brother, no shade to him, works for AT&T, right? He can go and work on 10 houses that day and get paid the same amount of money as his car worker who works on one house. That makes no sense to me. That sounds like socialism. We probably take that part out. But that makes no sense to me that, hey, he can go and work on 10 houses. This guy can go work on one house. And at the end of the week, they have the same paycheck. And entrepreneurship is not that way. If I go out there and I make 10 videos, this guy goes out there and makes one video, I'm going to make 10 times more than him because I did 10 times more work. And so with entrepreneurship, I saw a direct correlation between the work that I put in and the output. When I work for someone, when I am a cog in someone else's system, I do not see that being the case. And that's one of the main reasons I stuck to entrepreneurship.
Definitely. And let me ask you, do you think there is I will say now in today's society with social media, some people, they're steering people away from, corporate America 9 to 5. They're kind of painting a negative connotation in regards to that, which is nothing wrong with. Some people aren't made for the entrepreneur around. Some people are made for a 9 to 5. What are your thoughts on, how social media is portraying, 9 to 5, people working, they say you're not a boss if you work for somebody else, or you're an entrepreneur, you're definitely a boss. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think putting you're a boss or even having a LLC or a company makes you a quote unquote entrepreneur. You're not an entrepreneur until you have people that pay you for what you do or what you sell. I say that all the time. Or you're not an entrepreneur until you have people that pay you for what you do or what you made. Right. And so in terms of, can you be a boss working for someone else? Absolutely. Can you not be a boss working for yourself? Absolutely. I think that's just all colloquial jargon. This is the bad answer. It
might have been the bad question.
I just think, I mean, this is good, right? I'm trying to figure out how to be a better speaker, right? What if someone asks me this question when I'm in front of an audience of people? I got to be able to formulate an answer that I feel is beneficial or point them in the direction of an answer that's beneficial. So my response is going to be, you got to do what fits you. Like you said, there are some people who are not cut out to be entrepreneurs, right? And even if they take that entrepreneurial route because that's what's being pushed on social media, maybe that's what's being pushed by their family, they may not succeed or have joy in what they're doing. And succeeding and having joy in what you're doing is more important than the title, in my opinion. So that would be my answer. Find where you're going to succeed and have joy. There's some people, we've talked about this, that's like, hey, I may not go on the forefront and do my own thing, but I'll find joy and success in helping someone else do something, right? And be, hey, if you're at the front of the sled pushing, I'm second in line pushing harder than you are because I want you to be better for you. So, hey, if that fits you, then by all means do that.
Definitely. Okay. And let me ask you this, you started your business 2015. How did you start a business from scratch?
For me, I didn't go out there and get any loans or decide like one day I want to start a business. I already had a Rolodex of clients. I was doing freelance work since 2011, 2012. So I had 3 years of freelance clients. When it decided to be a business, it's because I wanted to have a bigger brand. Similar to what we just talked about in the JP interview previously, it was like, hey, I could just be a single videographer, but you can't command as much in the marketplace in terms of what people think you're capable of, nor what you can charge, as opposed to you have a company. I didn't want a company that was Micah's media, right? I didn't want it to be attached to me. I wanted to be able to build something that, hey, if I'm not on set that day, it's not a problem because they're not hiring me, they're hiring a company. And so that's the only transition it was. Like, it was the same clients. I was using the same equipment. I'd already built that stuff up because I was doing freelance for 3 or 4 years. It was really just transitioning from being an independent freelance contractor to being a business because, like I said, you can demand more in the marketplace as a company. You can build a team, you can build systems, and that way you can scale and grow. Definitely.
Yeah. You've worked with Tip Treats, Chick-fil-A, TRA. You worked with some NFL players, NBA players. You also do weddings, big corporations. So you've kind of dealt with multiple clients. Yeah. What do you think for anyone that have landed deals with big clients for maintaining those clients?
Customer service, man, it's the soft stuff. When you want to gain deals with big clients, that takes time, right? It wasn't to 5 years, 6 years, 7 years in that you start working with professional athletes. It wasn't to 3 or 4 years in that you work with restaurants that have brand recognition nationwide. That's hard to come about in that first 1, 2, 3 years. You have to, what I say, play in the minor leagues and work with your local and small businesses. And honestly, I think that's a good way to do it because you will fail. You will do stuff wrong. We have had times where we have let a client down based upon expectations. I would rather do that for a smaller gig mom and pop shop than mess that up when you get Chick-fil-A or when you get that professional athlete or when, someone's trying to give you a 6-figure deal. You don't want to mess that up and tarnish your reputation. You would rather learn on a lower dime, right? So that's the first part of that. In terms of how to maintain the big relationships once you get it, it's all about customer service. What I have seen, I don't know if this is true, what I've seen when it comes to larger companies sourcing out creative vendors. So you talk about large insurance companies, a restaurant association here in Austin. You talk about professional athletes. They care more about the video or the creative project working for their needs, understanding their pain point, understanding what you're creating this content for, and that content working for the problem, right? That content being a solution. They care about that more than it looking a certain way, being creative, or being perfect, right? Their focus is completion, not perfection. I stole that from Mana's Juice. Shout out to them, right? They focus on completion, not perfection. So with that being said, the best thing that I believe you can do when it comes to maintaining those larger corporate clients is the soft skills. Be on time, answer the phone, be responsive, listen, right? Tailor your solutions, tailor your conversations to what they need, right? Don't simply go out there and put what you want to do or what you can do. Understand what they're telling you, and then the pain point, and then tailor your solution to them, right? I think that's the biggest thing, right? Turning things in on time, answering questions, answering phone calls. It's the soft skills that I think matters the most to them.
How do you go about, landing clients, period? Like, what do you use to kind of get clients? Do you use referrals, certain websites? What do you usually do to get those clients?
Yeah, we've talked about this in the video before. The biggest thing that I think helped our company grow was warm leads, finding sites that individuals are coming to find services that you're soliciting, as opposed to just cold call soliciting. What works, people do it all the time. But what I've seen work and have a higher conversion rate has been warm leads. So sites like Bark.com, Thumbtack.com. I used to use Craigslist all the time back when we first started out for the smaller gigs. So finding those warm leads is where it's at. There's certain gigs that we've gotten that there's no amount of marketing or soliciting you could do to get those gigs. It just takes time and a good reputation to get it, right? So you work with company A, they know somebody at company B, who knows somebody at company C, who knows somebody at this professional athlete or this professional sport league who was like, okay, well, who did that for you, right? So that just takes time, but you have to treat everybody like your first client. You have to treat everybody with the same due diligence, patience, and care, because you never know who they're connected to. They talk about the six spears of separation. I might be quoting that wrong, but basically they said if you know 6 people, you can touch anybody in the country. Right. So like, oh, okay, I want to do a project for Obama. Well, I can know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows Obama. Like, it's literally the 6 spaces of separation. I'm really butchering what it's called, but it really that simple. We talk about St. John all the time. Right. Mm-hmm. So, hey, you got Antonio Diego on the podcast. That's only one spear of separation. He was on tour with St. John. So if you want to get St. John on the podcast, we were able to get Willie, his agent, who was able to get Antonio, and boom, you're only one spear of separation. So just knowing that you're only one spear of separation from the next big deal makes you treat everybody the same.
So you started your business with 2 of your friends from high school.
Yep.
Talk about working with friends. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's interesting. My significant other pointed out, she was like, everyone that you're friends with or that you're involved with from a social standpoint, you're doing something to get money with, right? Whether that's my 2 business partners from high school, whether that's you, met in college, or whether that's my friend I met on Xbox Live back in 6th grade. The people that I talk to, the 5 or 6 people that I talk to on a daily basis, we have some type of business venture or something constructive going on. Even a podcast, which is not necessarily a monetizing business venture yet, we're still doing that collaboratively. I believe if I'm not constructively working with you, we're not making each other better, and we're not figuring out a way to level up from a personal and financial standpoint, then what are we doing? Right? I feel, and to piggyback off of that, if I can't share money with you, then we probably shouldn't be friends either. And so that's how I look at it. If we're not helping each other constructively, and if we can't divide up $1 without there being an issue, we probably shouldn't be hanging out and be boys. That's just my opinion on it. I don't think that's something that other people should apply to their life.
Yeah.
But I apply it to mine.
Because I have other friends. I may or may not want to work with you based on personality.
People might see this, bro. Watch what you say.
I'm being honest. Some people have brought up to me, hey, you do business with you.
Yeah.
We should do something. I'm just kind of like, no disrespect to them, but I don't like a lazy person.
Facts.
Certain things I pick up on the friendship will just kind of show me how you are business wise.
Sure, I agree.
And I just don't know if that will work well with my goals and my vision. And I definitely don't want to lose a friend. So I'm just going to keep in the friend lane. And we just don't do business with each other.
I agree with that. And I guess for me, I don't really have acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
Either like I talk to you 3, 4, 5 times a week, or you are a past friend that I had. Someone that I talked to in high school, which if I went back home and saw you at the store, I'm going to talk to you. If I go back home and you want to link up and go get food, that's cool. Let's go link up, let's go get food. But it's not like we're going to have a continuation of conversations after that. But anybody that I'm talking to, and it's only like 5 people, all of them, right? It's only like 5 people that I'm talking to on a consistent basis. I would rather have, instead of people say, keep your circle small, I don't need a circle, I need a dot. Right. But I need those people to be top tier, and we need to all be constructively working towards not even the same goals, but constructively going in the same direction. Right. If you're going west and I'm going east, then, hey, bro, like I'll talk to you once a year, but it's not someone I'm talking to on a consistent basis. So maybe that's the difference. Maybe you can say like, hey, I can keep acquaintances in the friend zone. But if you're a friend or somebody that I'm talking to all the time, like, hey, bro, we got to be talking about the same things, and like 30 to 40% of our conversation needs to be something constructive. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, but we need to be talking about things that we are doing to make ourselves better as humans, or making our community, society, family, generational wealth, all of that. We need that. That's what I feel like we should be talking about.
Definitely. And what do you think are keys for people that do want to do business with friends or family? What do you think people should go in the mindset of to making it a constructive relationship and also a successful business?
Yeah, I think going into business in general, whether it's with friends or with strangers, when it comes to clients, when it comes to customers, care less. Obviously, you want to care about the quality of your product, care about the quality of your service. You want to care about your relationship. You want to care about your loved ones. But I feel like when you start to take things personal, that's when issues arise. So if we make a decision that we don't like from a business standpoint, or if I do something incorrectly from a business standpoint, don't take it offensive towards you, right? I made a mistake. We're learning, we're growing. It's interesting. In medicine, they literally call it practicing medicine. But everything that you're doing in life, you're practicing. I'm practicing my relationship with my significant other. I will try things that are wrong, right? And I should learn from them and be better. I'm practicing business. I am not a business owner who knows all of the answers, right? I am practicing things. Let's try this marketing strategy. Well, let's try red in the background instead of blue, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you learn, you pivot, you adjust, and you get better. So if you have that mindset that, hey, I'm practicing business, I'm practicing this relationship, I'm practicing this friendship, I think you will have a better mindset to not take things so personal. And just for me, I just care less. I know you've talked about, like, bro, how do you care less? Bro, I gotta sleep at night, fam. And so, like, if and we've had this conversation, if it's taking me away from my sleep at night, or if it's taking up mental space from my space of constructive ideas and thoughts, it's too pricey, and I ain't worried about it.
Perfect. Yeah. No. I mean, I agree, but when you're putting your all into something, investing money in, it's hard not to care. If that makes sense, care less. I'm confused. Were you saying care less?
Yeah, obviously you want to care. You're putting money into it, but I say this about the stock market. Once you put your money into the stock market, it ain't your money anymore. Stop caring about that money. Lose attachment with the money. We were just talking about Turo with the cars, and you were talking about one of the guys that we were asking questions about with Turo. He was like, don't get too attached to those cars. It's business, bro. Somebody's going to wreck that car. Someone's going to throw up in that car. As soon as you start having an emotional attachment to that car, your judgment is clouded. And so when you start having an emotional attachment to that dollar, your judgment is clouded. Right? As soon as you start having an emotional attachment to your title within the business, your judgment is clouded. Our judgment is clouded all the time, from social media, from parental influences, from how we grew up, from, just hormones and endorphins in our brains. We have enough clouded judgment already. Don't cloud it more by getting too attached to something.
Definitely. Do you think that's something you learned throughout your experiences, or do you think that's something people are born with?
I have no idea.
Okay.
And that's what, if you're talking about what keeps me up at night, the idea that I am happy with the person I have became and continue to become in terms of like work ethic, my ideas, business, the development of me as a human being. I am extremely proud. Maybe that's a humble brag, or maybe that's not humility at all, but I'm extremely proud and I'm extremely happy with what I've accomplished and where I'm going. I can't tell you exactly when I got on that track. I can't tell you if that was something I was born with. I can't even tell you how to impart that into someone and get the result that you're looking for 100% of the time. I can tell you some ideas of like, hey, I think you need to read. I think you need to meditate. I think you need to have clear thoughts. I think you need to do entrepreneurship. I can tell you like things I think individuals should do, but I don't have a recipe that I know is going to work 100% of the time. I have some ingredients, but sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's why I started the podcast. That's why I like to talk to different business owners and different people that I feel have accomplished some desire to success, to see if they have more ingredients that I can add to that pot to be able to share with others.
Definitely. And doing the podcast, what do you think are some of the things you learned talking to other business owners on the podcast?
Or everything. And
what's resonated with you the most?
One of the things that's resonated with me the most, and it's because it's fresh. We just talked about it, but I know Val Cheesecake talked about it too, is don't label yourself as a black business or even as a woman business. Those things can help you by being from a disadvantaged group or from being from a minority group. Yes, that can help you in business, but don't try to just be the best black business. Don't try to be the best business in your geographical location. Just be the best business, right? And so I think that has resonated with me. The competitive forever, we talked about that with Cookie Society. We've interviewed so many entrepreneurs who are former athletes, and they approach their entrepreneurship with the same competitive forever that they approach their sport with, just wanting to be the best, that having that obsessive desire to continually to get better. And for me, anyone that I've come across that I felt that may have some complacency in their heart or may be defeated, it's a lack of desire to want to be better. The thing that I talk about all the time on the podcast is you can take a mule to the water, but you can't make it drink. He rolls his eyes.
And we always get into it about them. Like everybody does.
We take it all the time, or we talk about it all the time. So I guess my biggest takeaway, which, I've heard this before, is that, bro, you got to want to drink the water. You got to have the desire to do, to achieve, to want, to get whatever you want. It could be a relationship with a significant other. It can be a business deal. It can be generational wealth for your family. It can be to get physically fit. Whatever that want is, that need, that desire is, you got to actually want it and go and drink the water, because if not, it's just not going to happen.
Definitely. And what makes you... let me see if I can word this correctly. I get it, you want to help others, but when do you get to a place when you try to help someone, they don't want to drink the water? What do you do?
So when, again, taking the mule to the water, but you can't make the mule drink. For me, what I'm going to do when the mule won't drink, I'm going to continually change the ingredients of the water. Like, okay, something got to stick. Something has to stick. Something stuck for me, right? So I would change the ingredients in the water. But I believe Ricky of the Breakfast Brothers said it best when he said, when he's trying to get the mule to drink from the water, the first thing he's going to do is drink the water, right? If I want my employees to have the same passion, fervor, or desire to be great that I do, I have to show them. I have to get in the kitchen and wash the dishes. I got to go and serve the tables. I got to do it. They got to see me drinking the water first before they even make a consideration to drink the water. So leading by example, pretty much.
Definitely. And you also, I'm going to get back to that. 'Cause one thing I know, as being a friend, you got me to see different things in life. One of the things you put in my life was about reading books. I didn't read in high school, college.
I didn't either.
I was assigned to read a book for a class. I would
Spark Notes
it. Yeah. And you have to sort of find books that that you can resonate with, and think you can learn from, that keep you want to keep reading,
keep engaged,
keep you engaged.
Yeah.
So what do you think reading has done for you, and what do you think the importance of reading?
It changed my life. Again, I think it's Malcolm X that said the quote, but if you want to keep something from a black person, put it between the covers of a book. We watch a lot of TV, we listen to a lot of music, we watch a lot of sports, we don't read books. There's so much valuable content in books, and we do more reading now than we probably ever have in terms of reading social media posts and blogs and news articles, but it's not the same as sitting down and reading someone's full ideas and thought processes. It changes the way you think, right? You will read a book and read, 2 or 3 pages and then just sit there and ponder on what you just read. It's nothing else that I've experienced that does that. You don't do that with a movie per se. You would have to pause the movie. No one pauses the movie and be like, I wonder what Batman was thinking. But you do it all the time with reading. It improves your vernacular. You're literally learning words as you read. I believe that reading is a fundamental building block for success. One of the first things that I noticed when I became an entrepreneur, I started to go into affluent individuals' houses. And when I say affluent, I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about these people have wealth and affluence in their relationships, in their family lineage, in their businesses, and everything they do. Even how they carried themselves, right? They just felt like a different type of individual than I had experienced growing up through grade school, high school, everything like that. 3 things that I noticed. In their home, they had a faith component. It wasn't always Christianity, but they had some type of faith component. They believed that there was something else out there spiritually that they were seeking, right? Number 2, it was a dual parent household. Right. It was no single parent household. They had a life partner that they were doing life with, whether that was heterosexual, homosexual, or other. Right. They had a life partner that they were doing it with. And the 3rd thing, they had books in their house. They had literally libraries in their house. Many of them did not have TVs in their bedrooms. They had libraries in their house. Each one of them talked about the importance of reading books. And that just resonated with me because that was not something that was preached in my household, not something preached in my community. I didn't read books until I graduated in 2015. I read more books from 2015 to 2017 that I read in my entire academic career up until that. I was sparking on things. I wasn't reading things in high school. I didn't want to read To Kill a Mockingbird, but I started to get interested in business book, finance book, personal development books. And I was like, okay, this stuff resonated with me, just like you said. And I think they changed the way that you think, the way that you talk, the way that you understand life. And the last thing I'll say about that, it's all about exposure, right? You could go, in theory, to every country in the world, but that would take your entire lifetime to be able to go and experience every country in the world, right? But it does not take you an entire lifetime to read a book about every country in the world. You could do that in a year, right? So the ability to read books allows you to broaden your horizon and your exposure. And a lot of times people are limited because they don't know what they don't know. But by reading books, you can open your eyes a little bit and understand and be exposed to more. And then you realize that you don't know anything once you start to expose yourself to more. And it makes you hungry to learn more.
Definitely.
Mic drop.
That was fire. I'll give you that. You do the mic. Let's do it together. Come on. No.
I do the mic
drop.
There
we go. Brothers, right? Come on.
That was fire.
This how you do me, bro? You do this on TV, bro?
I'll dap you up.
Definitely. Fire. And also, I know one thing you also resonate me, giving back. We started going back to our alma mater and speaking to young African-American young boys at the school. You've done public speaking with organizations across the community. What is the importance of giving back, even if you don't feel like you're at your peak right now in your career?
Yeah. So again, like I said, shout out to Brandon Copeland. I was saying, hey, even if you're a little bit ahead, you need to go back and help others. Don't know where this quote was from, but it was a client of mine that said, learn, earn, and return. So, hey, I went to college. I got my degrees. I've been in business 7 years. I've learned how to run a business. I've earned a little bit of money. That way I don't have to think about keeping the lights on. They're on now, right? And God forbid, knock on wood, they're not going off. They're on now, right? And now it's time to return. Once you learn, earn, it's time to return and give back and impart into others. And so I just see it as an investment. Just like I would invest in a stock, just like I would invest in podcasting equipment, I go back to UNT, I go back to my high school and invest in those other the others that are coming up behind me, because I feel like that investment will reap fruit and an ROI later. Not ROI that I'm going to directly get from, right? If I help another man get his degree, like I'm not going to reap benefits from that. But I believe it was Eggenauer Poe that said, one man cannot help another without helping himself. And it makes me feel so good inside to be able to go back and give to those young men back at UNT, back in my high school and whatever.
Definitely. And that's how we both met. It was an organization called Few Good Men in College. I mean, It was a great program. They taught us a lot of things about, our race, our culture, but also what's out after, post college. What are some things that you think that stuck out to you, resonate you about being in that organization?
One of the things that stuck out to me, I'm going negative actually. One of the individuals, great guy, but he was pushing me to go like a corporate America route. Like, hey, you need to be filling out resumes, jobs. I'm like, bro, I've been doing freelance work for 3 years and I have a company. I started my company while in college. I was thinking, hey, instead of, pushing me down this route of going to get a corporate job to get benefits, why don't you help support me in the avenue that I'm already going? I've already shown you that I can be successful in this avenue. I'm paying my bills, being an entrepreneur. Why are you telling me to go fill out a job application, right? I think you should be, in my opinion, supporting an individual that is already shown to have success down this track. Let me help push you. But that was not the case at all. So what I learned from that organization, the biggest takeaway from that organization was, even if someone is more experienced than you, has more knowledge than you, has more money in the bank account than you, you have to be strong in your convictions and be like, hey, no, this is the way that I feel is going to bring me the most joy and success, and that I am most in tune with, and I'm going to go that way. And, whether you help me or not, it's going to be other people, which have been, and I'm thankful for all of them, that's going to help me go down this route. He has then turned the page, and now he's like, hey, come back and talk to the guys about entrepreneurship. And I talk to him maybe, every quarter or so. But at that time, when I was, still at school, that was not the case. So shout out to Mr. Dunlap.
Well, okay, well.
Shout out to Mr. No.
Well, I mean, no. You are somebody. No. That's right.
I got all.
But it could be a generational thing. In his generation coming up, they were taught just get a 9-to-5, get your benefits. Entrepreneurial route wasn't.
And he's an entrepreneur too.
Yeah,
he's an entrepreneur too. Like I said, no disrespect to him. He has found success, having a 9-to-5 and doing entrepreneurship. That's just not what I felt that I wanted to do. But I think just reading the room and understanding, hey, this is what this kid want to do. Let me support him. It's guys that we go talk to with the Marshall Eagles that may say like, hey, I want to go be a party promoter. That's not something I would do or something that I would encourage someone to do per se. But if that's what you want to do, let's look up how to best do that strategically to make you the best party promoter out there. Like, I'm all about helping you fulfill your dreams. That's all it was.
But we good on time?
Yeah. You have anything else or not?
I think that's a wrap.
All right, that's a wrap. He didn't really have anything prepared. It's all good.
It was, bro. You gonna do it like this? It was impromptu. It was impromptu, bro. It was last minute. You put me on the spot.
Shout out Secrets of Silence Success from Austin, Texas today.
Thank you. Part one. That was part one. Okay.
Part one. I feel like I was talking fast. You didn't never tell me to slow down. Was I talking
last
fast?
time I told you that you didn't take the critique well, so.
No, I just said it wasn't about taking the critique well. I actually slowed down. I appreciated you for telling me to slow down.
Yeah, I told him that at our last experience. You came back with somebody said I did, and I said,
that's the only thing I said. Only thing I said is that when I reviewed the footage, it's just like if you were playing sports. In the moment, a coach can say like, "Hey, you're doing this," but when you go back and review the footage, when I went and showed other personnel, they were like, "No, I thought the speed was fine." That's all I said. I know from experience that me talking too fast is a Achilles heel. It's something that I struggle with, and that's why I brought it up again. I felt like I was talking too fast. I need to slow it down. Yeah, it's not like I took the criticism badly. It was that when I went and showed it to others, they said, no, I thought the speed was fine, and I just came back and relayed that information to you. But if you feel that I'm speaking too fast at another event, please say like, hey, bro, slow down. You're speaking too fast.
Yeah, definitely will. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we good then, bro.
We good. Of course, always.
How you think I did? This is my first.
You did really good.
You think so?
Shout out to Mr. Stanley.
Oh wait, it's still going live, bro.
Yeah, it's still live. Yeah, shout out to Mr. Stanley. Nah, you did good.
Right.
You did good. Yeah, it's different being up here talking, huh? Yeah. Now wait till you got to interview random people. You got to start interviewing people.
Nah, I'll let you have that.
Nah, bro. Nah, you gotta do it, bro. You gotta do it. You gotta face your fears.
About that a thing. You like to see people grow. I'll just be supportive of you.
Absolutely, but I also think you should push people to be uncomfortable, because right on the other side of fear and being uncomfortable is your dreams.
True that.
Mic drop. Come out.